Okay, so this is a game that Team Ninja is making, right? Team Ninja, yeah. Aren't they releasing this game on the same day as Dragon's Dogma 2? That's so silly. Why would you do that? PS5 exclusive as well? Yeah, this is the gameplay. It's like NPCs from the beginning of Lies of P.
Rise of the Ronin has been a blast so far. While not a graphical stunner like Ghost of Tsushima, I have been very impressed with the depth and sheer number of things to do. The story is compelling and gives you motivation to keep going to see what's next. There's plenty of gear you can acquire to make a stronger build. Characters you meet during your journey will join your crew and fight alongside you. There's a transmogrification system that lets you customize your appearance while also having the best gear possible equipped. And you can pet cats.
Oh,
but
wow.
more importantly than all that, the core gameplay felt like a mix of the...
That was pretty fucking cool. I'm gonna be honest. Parrying a flaming arrow and then it makes your sword go on fire? I haven't seen that before in a game. That's cool.
Storytelling and exploration in Assassin's Creed 2 with a smidgen of Ninja Gaiden combat.
That's one of the criticisms that I had of Wulong. I was gonna say Wukong, of Wulong, which is like the game I think that Team Ninja made before this one, is that every single map and every single zone in Wulong was so formulaic and so samey. It was super fucking boring. Like, I really, really did not like that. Every single level had, like, you know, you have to get these banners, you have to collect these things, you have to kill these guys. It was the same shit. So, like, the fact that this is, like, more open-ended is very good to hear. Wulong wasn't Team Ninja? It wasn't? Was it not? I remember the people told me that it was. It was? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe I was...
Dash of Dark Souls difficulty. In other words, this recipe seems to be a perfect mix of gameplay ingredients that I've been loving.
I'm going to be curious if this game has more... Like, because, like, Wulong had a lot of kind of fantasy elements where you could actually, like, do magic spells and shit. I'm curious to see if this game is going to have that, too.
The main storyline of Rise of Ronin is all about a duo referred to as Blade Twins. In this case, it's believed that the duo are brother and sister who nearly suffered a terrible fate at a young age as their village burned to the ground.
Okay.
Instead, they were saved and recruited into the Veiled Edge as Blade Twins.
So Sekiro.
Highly skilled with the sword, Blade Twins train and grow together as they master their skills. One of your first tests of skill has you infiltrating the ship of historical figure Matthew C. Perry to steal a secret message and assassinate Perry after doing so. This section does a good job of showing off a few stealth elements of Ronin, and also showcases combat with the footage PlayStation sent us to use for this preview. Combat will require precise timing for counters, and you'll need to pay close attention to your ki gauge, which is basically a stamina meter. Getting hit
I love
too
how they're
much
like calling it different stuff.
Your ki, but parrying your opponent or damaging them will result in a loss of their ki. Deplete all their ki, and they'll be left open for a devastating attack. The back and forth is a lot of fun in practice, but it's not easy to hit that perfect timing. Each encounter also allows you the opportunity to use stealth to infiltrate an area.
One of the things with this game, like, one of my big criticisms with Wulong was the fact that the attacks, like, the animations felt very sporadic. And they didn't feel natural. Like, for example, I think, like, the attacks in Monster Hunter feel extremely natural, even if they're very fast. And, like, sometimes the NPCs would move in Wulong faster than I would assume would be physically possible. And so it, like, kind of Lies of P had the same issue, too, where it's like, we're going to make this attack really fast, so it makes the game harder. And I didn't like that. I thought that was, like, very cheesy difficulty. I didn't like it at all. I hope this game doesn't have as much of that.
And you can take out a few enemies without being seen, but in almost every situation, there will be higher powered foes that will require you to know the combat basics to defeat them and move forward. So while I built a character with a speech trait that opened up some unique dialogue options for me, there's no escaping those necessary combat beats that Ronin does quite well.
Yeah, this seems pretty... You don't go through the whole game with the girl, right?
Don't move.
After this introduction,
that was pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. I think that combat was actually pretty good. Yeah, I think it's just the beginning, and then, like, the odds are it's like you choose to be the guy or the girl. That's probably what I'm assuming.
Ronin really opens up. Our preview window promised 2 hours of playable content, but it turned out it was much more than that.
This looks really
we
nice.
were given access to a large open world that included countryside
Yeah, look
towns
at
and
this.
open fields, as well as city spaces with different types of missions located at each.
Holy shit.
In these sections, you can choose to take on story quests, side quests, customize your longhouse, or play mini-games alongside other activities I probably
Yeah, the horse
missed.
does look really stupid, doesn't it? It looks so dumb.
The provided footage we're allowed to use in this preview does a good job of showcasing a smattering of options available to players, but even this feels like it's just a glimpse into what's available, as I haven't even played some of what you're seeing yet. One notable mission in the
I'll say, like, the visuals for the game look pretty good.
glimpse into what's
Like that looks pretty nice. What do you guys think? I'm actually kind of curious about the scale of the game. Yeah, this looks nice. Looks ass? Okay. Yeah, I think it looks nice.
available, as I haven't even played some of what you're seeing yet. One notable mission in the footage was a story beat where I fought alongside the eccentric Ronin to gain his allegiance in one of the battle missions. In our preview, battle missions allow us to gain ally allegiance as part of core story missions. These are fun excursions that have bonus objectives like defeat 3 formidable foes, and will have an impact on the overall story.
Defeat 3 formidable foes. I remember that. There it is. Yep. 3 elite. Yeah, 3. Yeah, they had the exact same thing. Uh-oh.
Wind up experiencing. The main objective in this case was to defeat Gonzo and decide his fate before looting some forged documents that would complete the quest. I could have murdered him right there, but I instead chose to spare Gonzo. Fast forward to the open world section, and I meet a character in the middle of nowhere asking me to deal with a person who swindled him out of money. Who did it turn out to be? None other than Gonzo, who is getting into trouble again, even after I spared him earlier.
Well,
this time
just
I can
kill
finish him for real, or have him join my crew. Had I chosen to kill him off, I would have been rewarded with some loot, but if I didn't, I got an extra helper to fight beside me in the open world. I'll take
that's
that
interesting.
over a few trinkets any day. And I discovered these different outcomes because I reloaded my save just to see what would happen had I chosen the other option. And while I had really been having fun with Rise of the Ronin up until this point, this was the moment that really solidified how much I was liking this game. Great combat, an intriguing story, decisions that matter, tons of stuff to do, and you can pet cats. I'm sold. My decision to spare...
I'm going to be honest. I think this actually looks pretty promising. All things considered, I think this is all right.
Gonzo would pay off too, because in my upcoming story mission fight with Kira, I now had 3 allies going into battle instead of just 2. Myself, the eccentric Ronin, and Gonzo were an unstoppable trio ready to take Kira down. And that's just in
the animations look better than Wulong
I am
too.
tremendously excited to see who else I can recruit into my group. These were the core missions that we got to experience in our preview, but there's a lot more to do.
One problem that I'm worried about is that the PC compatibility for this game. Is this game PC or is it... yeah, it doesn't say. Is it PC or is it just PS5? Okay, so it's only PS5? Okay, well then I don't have to... Problem solved.
Open world, you might come upon towns that are overrun.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna have to worry about that.
You'll need to dispatch to restore order. There are mini games like the Gatling gun firearm range that was teased in the footage Sony sent over, or the glider mini games that challenge you to break all the targets floating in the sky. And while they didn't show much of it in the video that we're allowed to use, there's an entire gear system at play that encourages you to learn different weapons and use tools like the sub-weapon class that includes things like throwing stars, rifles, bows, and more for combat to get a leg up in battle.
The bayonet seems really cool.
Weapons, by the way, which have a smattering of samurai classics. Rise of the Ronin is poised to give players a lot to dive into, and while it doesn't quite live up to PlayStation's first-party open-world exclusives in the graphics department, the developers at Team Ninja have focused on what's important. An engaging story that has a great hook to keep you exploring, a fun gameplay system that will keep you striving to perfect your skills, and all of that is found alongside a smattering of fun activities to challenge yourself with. I can't wait to see how it all comes together when Ronin launches later this month.
It just really definitely beats that fucking shitty house, and then there's a tree, and there's like another house in like Wulong. There was like no open world in that game at all. Like there's no space where you could do anything. Looks like a PS3 game. Yeah, the graphics quality for these games aren't really that good. I don't feel like... I think they're kind of more like, this is mainly like a combat like play style game, and it's not really a graphical experience. Gameplay matters. Ghost of Tsushima's better. I'll probably play that game off stream.
Final preview of Dragon's Dogma 2. And for the rest of your gaming news, previews, features, reviews, and game help, stay here on IGN.
Yeah, I think this is pretty fair. I love the art style. Yeah, I think the art style is good. Like, I'll see if I can get like that one scene that they show of like the whole. Yeah, this looks very nice. Is it like amazing? It's not amazing, but this is fine and it's workable. But I mean, you're right. If you told me this game came out in 2014, I'd be like, yeah, I can tell. Like, I would just, if you asked me what year this game came out in, and it was like it had good graphics for that year, I would say 2014. Doesn't make the game bad, but, you know, I think, again, the style for the game is decent enough, too. It's fine. They fucked up the colors, that's why, I think. Yeah, there's like a saturation issue, maybe? I'm not sure. But I do plan on playing this, at least trying it out, right? I just hope that the game is like more fun than Wulong was. Real gamers play for the gameplay, not the graphics. Yeah, but the graphics sure make it better, don't they? I'm not really being negative about that. I mean, that's fine. But like, I would like to see good graphics too. But I'm not going to complain about bad graphics, if that makes sense. Graphics enhance gameplay? Yeah, they sure do. And also, like, there's like two different things. Like, whenever we talk about graphics, there's like graphical fidelity and art direction. Art direction is like 1,000 times more important than fidelity, because like you can always have like upscaling texture packs, shit like that. Like Monster Hunter World has that. A lot of games have that. Like Skyrim has 1 million of them. But like the art style, the art direction, that's what really matters a lot. That's why a game like World of Warcraft, for example, can be timeless. A game like Hi-Fi Rush, timeless. Like, people can go back and play Hi-Fi Rush in 20 years and have roughly the same experience and not have that experience diminished by the graphical quality. In the same way that, like, you know, you go back, you play Ocarina of Time, and, like, the graphics for that game are fucking garbage, right? Let's be honest. And it would be really nice if they weren't. But Heroes 3, yeah, there's a lot of different examples. Like Valheim, Hollow Knight, yeah. Hades, for sure.